He did it. He did it. Tyler Stevenson from the heavens. Did that just happen? Did that just happen? Chat. I don't even know if I was live when it happened, but it just happened. Good for Tyler Stevenson. I owe Tyler Stevenson an apology. No, I don't. But I will say, if he keeps doing that, I won't utter another thing. I won't utter another thing. Sir Boy Wonder is on me. Listen. You guys think I dislike these guys? I just like telling you the truth. I like being honest. Tyler Stevenson need to hit with a little more pop, and by golly, here we are. All right, let's go. We need 3 outs. Need 3 outs. Tyler Stevenson's what happened. Is Tyler Stevenson back? No, some people are asking. Some people are asking. Let me tell you about my day. Not that you could care. You could probably care less. But here's the thing. I am a Ricky Fowler stan, as some of you already know. The U.S. Open broke my heart. It absolutely broke my heart. And I was down on the absolute doormat today with Ricky Fowler. I thought the thing was over. I thought he blew it. He choked again. All of the traditional things that he typically does to his fans in regards to the ones that really want to see him successful. I thought he was letting us down again, but not so fast. One, my son has a birthday today. My house is probably an absolute disaster. I'm a little out of my element, which is all okay. Been trying to, if hand up in the air, I've not watched every pitch of this game. But I have watched the last about 4 or 5 innings. I have seen Abbott. He absolutely dealt. I know people are going to be mad as a hornet about David Bell taking him out of the game, and I got to be honest, I understand why. We'll talk about it in a little bit. I'm glad Tyler Stevenson saved David Bell from getting absolutely crushed for taking out Andrew Abbott. I get the concept of not wanting to take him out because he's thrown really, really well all day, but there's also the concept that it's like the 4th or 5th time through the lineup. You're due to get hit. He just gave up a home run. You'd hate to see him again, just like Brandon Williamson yesterday. You'd hate to see him have an unbelievable outing spoiled late in the game because you left him in there 2, 3, 4 hitters too long. But now it's Alexis Diaz time. And I know for a fact, chat, I'm like a pitch and a half behind you. And I don't even think I gave you that great of a reaction with the Tyler Stevenson home run. 1, because I was shocked. 2, because I was trying to make sure we were live. And 3, because, again, all of those things were happening at once. I wasn't sure what was going on. Don't even know if we were live, if we're being completely honest. But I'm about a pitch behind everybody. I know that for a fact. Because that's just the way it is in life. Chad is always ahead of me by about 2 pitches. So I'm going to try not to stare at the screen all along. I'm guessing Nick Kirby's going to dive in here, possibly. We'll see. We'll see if he does. If he doesn't, I'll man the show. Meanwhile, I'm like 1% on my phone. That's the way life's going. But it's here nor there. Alexis Diaz time. We need it. We need it like a fish needs water. It'd be nice if we got one of those Diaz outings where we just didn't even mess around, right? Just straight 1, 2, 3. Deja vu's at the game. You're at the game and in the chat. That's an elite performance by you. Strike. All right. That's a strike. All right, Mouse Cop, you're always the man. I love you, Mouse Cop, but I got to put you away. You are just a leader of always being ahead of me. And I love when you tell me good things, but I'm going to have to put you away for a minute. All right, chat? I got to put you away. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Oh, it scared me a little bit. All right, I'm going to put the chat away for a minute. I got to lock it in. Alexis Diaz has got to finish this deal, and then we'll get into it. What's the % chance that Nick Kirby joins the show? say it's about 60% he joins. 60%. Also, it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that I was pandering for likes, asking for likes, begging for likes. Everyone started hitting the like button. People were joining the show, hitting the like button, and then boom, Tyler Stevenson, Oppo Taco. That's not a coincidence. That's a strike. Yep. All-star pitchers get that. It's inside. I just envision all of you guys watching the game. You see what happens, and then you pierce over towards me, and you watch me either be extremely excited or just melt with anger and or disappointment. What a day this has been. The Rocket Mortgage, big tournament, huge tournament, the biggest of tournaments. Some say it's just below the Masters. Got pushed up today. They started at like 8:30 in the morning, went to church, got home, was trying to figure out what channel the whole Rocket Mortgage was on. That's a strike. Clean it up. Anyways, couldn't figure out the Rocket Mortgage. Finally found it on some app. Got it streaming on the TV. Kid's birthday today. Oh, yeah, get pissed, Xander. You should have been out last pitch. Finally found the stream. Again, have like 40 kids over at our house today, which is great. I love that. Played some wiffle ball in the backyard. Like I said, hand up in the air. When you're doing a show solo like this, possibly Nick might join, to be fair. Probably not the best idea to miss like 4 or 5 innings, but that's just the way life went today. So here I am. I'm going to lean on the chat to get me through today. Going to lean on the chat. All right, we got two-way. Need it. We need it. I don't know why I feel so much stress trying to figure out all this stuff. I've done it 1,000 times, but it's one of those things where, you know, it's a lot. There's a lot of moving parts right now. And most importantly, Diaz needs to finish the deal. It's a ball. Good pitch. Good pitch. Got to finish. Batter asked for time. A well-placed slider does it, right? I mean, that's an obvious statement of all obvious statements, but I feel like he's one of those ones where you throw it and it starts down the middle and it just slides right about a good 4 or 5 inches off the plate. Strikeout. That's the pitch. Nope, not that. It's got to be off the plate. It's never easy. Okay. Still an out away. I really need Sadak to harness his positivity here. I've seen better cameras. Golly, it can make me dizzy. It's a little high. Come on, Alexis. Fastball. That's right at him, right? That's Not Adam. Damn. Why is it always got to be like this, chat? It's like it has to be this way. There's never a game that we just get to relax. Oh my gosh, man. Chat, I got to check you out really fast. It's never easy, man. Ken said Trace today's game was not unlike the others. Good pitching most of the game. Well, it was unlike most of the others in the fact the starting pitcher went, almost 8 full innings. That's definitely a difference. Here's what I need out of the chat right now. All right. I know I'm begging. I know it's a broken record. I need likes, guys. We got 43 likes in here. We got 140 people in here right now. We know the deal. I mean, yes, you might not believe in superstitious stuff. That's cool. I don't right now. I'm not worried about what the feelings are of superstitions or not superstitions. We need more likes, and we need them really fast. Like the fastest we've ever need likes in your life. We need likes as much as we need strikes. I like that, and it's going to stick for the rest of the year. I got to put your chat away. Now, we got a base open, which I don't know where we're at in the order. We got eighth guy up. They had pinch hit in our door. Let's just be smart here. Is that a thing? Can we be smart? Good pitch. This is brutal. What do we do ourselves? Why do we have to do this to ourselves? Is my thing. We've never needed the game day app in our entire lives to say in play outs more than we've ever needed them before. Nice pitch. What is up with guys that swing at that? Diaz gets more like crazy swings and misses out of the zone than anybody that I see. Like his ball is legitimately a foot off the plate and guys are swinging at it. It's one of those things where we need to settle down, Diaz. Don't let the crowd get to you. Don't let the adrenaline get too high and make a pitch. Execute. See, it's like adrenaline. Adrenaline's not a good thing most of the time. Unless you have a severe injury. It's pretty good then. Not good in this spot, though. Just relax and make a pitch. Let's go. Pressure's on them. Woo! Doesn't matter how hard you hit it if you hit it right at them. Pro tip. All right, let's do a show. All right, I got a lot going on. We got a special guest in the house, though, and I'm going to have to figure out how to get him in the show. Maybe. There he is. Nick? Nick, you're hot. I got to be honest. Let me turn you down a little bit. You're coming in hot. Go ahead. What are your thoughts on the game? I can't hear, and I'm sure you can't hear us, but if you can, by all means, the people have you. We got you for a short amount of time. I see you, Higgy Baby already wants a fireball shot. I'll get to that in a minute, but Nick, let it rip, man.
Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, I see it. My God, Trace, what a win, man. Holy crap. That atmosphere was electric when Abbott came off the mound. In the ninth inning with Diaz, even though it was a little shaky. Just honestly, you saw this team a year ago. I was there, but they were 3-22. A couple hundred people, it felt like, at the game. And to be here today on a day with the really, really sketchy forecast, ballpark was packed. Just incredible, man. Andrew Abbott, what more do you say? Like, who is this guy? Like, how does he keep doing this?
You think he's ready for the big leagues? I think he's good to go.
I think so. And David Bell, man, he made the tough moves. I was sitting there in the ninth going, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? He made the right move, got their incredible lefty that I think had only given up one run all year out of the game. And Tyler Stevenson, he made the Padres pay. He made them pay. What a moment. Stuart Fairchild, dude just got called up. What a plate appearance. Was he behind 0-2 in the count? Worked it back. This is a team. This is a team baseball, Trace. Every single player gets used. Every single player contributes. And that is what I think makes this as fun as anything.
I agree. I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit later in the show. I have overachieved recipe, and I think what you just mentioned is a part of that recipe. When you have to overachieve as a baseball team, you get production out of things you never thought possible, and then you get it from different guys on different nights. Your overall thoughts on pulling Abbott?
My overall thoughts on Abbott?
Pulling Abbott. Pulling Abbott. You're going to have the people that say they shouldn't have taken him out, Nick.
I mean, I honestly think they probably should have pulled him before Kim if you're going to go that route. How many times do we see, you bring in a reliever and they give up a run and then that gets criticized? I mean, that was a right matchup. Kim would have been a much better matchup for Sims. But instead you bring in Sims against Fernando Tatis, who's an elite hitter. And that's a really tough matchup. Obviously, Tatis made him pay. I think I would argue that you should have brought in Sims to face Kim and just said, hey, Abbott, you've given us everything you got. You got through the lefties at the bottom of the lineup. I think you can make that as a case as well. But, Trace, it doesn't matter. This team, everyone picks each other up.
Yeah, they do. Do you have any – what's the right term to use here? Do you have any second-guessing of any of the decisions that are being made currently by David Bell? Because that's without question going to be one of the main topics of the whole pitching situation. You don't think that it's even one second you would ever question the idea of just letting Abbott push through it all? I know you said they could have taken him out before. That's fair. But I'm saying for the crowd that says you just keep letting him push on, that's what I was trying to ask.
I don't know what his pitch count was. I think it was over 100 at that point.
It's just right at 100.
This is a rookie pitcher that's probably not going to pitch all year. I have no issue with that. I really have no issue with any of that. Honestly, if there was one thing I criticized David Bell on today, it was that he batted Fraley and Votto left on left and made it very easy early in the game for Bob Melvin to just keep running lefty after lefty after lefty out there. And that's why the Reds only scored 2 runs against the Padres bullpen for the first 7 innings. So I think that would maybe be the one thing that I didn't really like. It's a tough spot because I think he had already made the lineup and then they decided to bring in the lefty. He didn't know who was pitching. But I don't know, man. That's the kind of thing you maybe make a tougher call. Maybe you just flop Steer and Votto, and then you make their lefty have to face Steer in between. Right. I don't know. I didn't like that part of it, but again, it doesn't matter. This team just somehow finds a way. It's incredible. I don't even know what I'm watching. This is just unbelievable baseball. This is fun, man.
Can you speak on the atmosphere that you felt tonight? Was it better than anything that you've been at before in your GABP experience? You've been to opening day this year. Can you rank it up against the Giants series at all?
I mean, I wouldn't call it like a playoff atmosphere. Like I was at Game 5 against the Giants. That was pretty incredible. The atmosphere was definitely better than opening day this year, without question. I mean, it was awesome. And like I said, I mean, the forecast was really rough all day today. I'm surprised they got this game even all the way through. I kept checking the radar every half inning. So atmosphere was great. I think it'd be even better if you had a little better forecast. But it's just fun right now.
Last thing before you go, because I'm sure you're trying to beat traffic because you've done not beat it. But let's just say I know you need to get on the road. You need to get home. Can you give me at least a little bit of a Cliff Note version of your review of Taylor Swift?
Electric show. My only small criticism, and this is probably as a guy that's not a full Swiftie, I feel like the folklore part was maybe a little lengthy, but for the hardcore Swifties, I'm sure they love it. That's probably their version of weighted runs created plus, so I can't really fault that. That felt a little long to me. I was a little exhausted at the end, but honestly, at the end of the show, I'm just like, how did she perform for that long? Like, I was drained. I was exhausted. The incredible physical shape that she must be in to pull that off is a masterclass in itself. And I got one last point for you, Trace. Big series against the Nats. This feels like a trap series in DC. I think if the Reds can win 2 of 4, it's a good thing. Let's not put expectations that we have to win 3 of 4. This is a 2 of 4. If you win 3 of 4, great. We just want to split. We want to keep moving along. We want to get to that All-Star break in first place or right there. That's all I want right now.
Couldn't agree more, Nick. 500 baseball the rest of the way out gets us where, Nick? Where does it get us?
Gets us in the playoff hunt in late September.
I agree.
Which is not what we ever could have asked for this season.
Couldn't agree more. All right, Nick, I'll let you go. Thank you for chiming in, and thank you for stepping in when you are out at Great American Ballpark. Appreciate you, brother.
All right. See you tomorrow.
See you, man. All right. That is the none other Nick Kirby coming in live from the flesh from Great American Ballpark. I have on here in the box score recap. First of all, let me spoiler alert. I am not going to be able to do a box score recap. I will do it for the podcast version tomorrow, and the reason for that is because there's a billion things going on. I'm going to try to keep up and try to hold maintain a decent show here. I have in the box score overall to the right that the 2 through 6 hitters for this baseball team were 0 for 14. Well, that was until Tyler Stevenson came up, and you got to give Tyler Stevenson some credit. And I was the first one to ridicule Tyler, and when I say ridicule, I was hard on him in the sense that he needed to start producing at a better level at the plate in order to take up the spot that he was taking up, which is the DH. Let's face it, the DH spot this year has been very underwhelming. And it continues to be underwhelming, if we're being completely honest. But thankfully, when one thing goes bad, it's almost like another thing picks up with this team. And that's what a team is, right? However, it doesn't seem real that this should happen. So I'm going to jump into Andrew Abbott first. I've been on the Andrew Abbott train, as many of you probably know that watch the show for quite some time. I think that there's merit to having success for extended periods of time and having consistency like Andrew Abbott has done. He has succeeded everywhere he's gone. Matt McClain has succeeded everywhere he's gone. I take that back. You could argue that he didn't have really good AA experience. You could also argue he had struggled actually at UCLA his first year there. So I'll take that back completely. But Andrew Abbott in and of itself was very successful at Virginia, killed AA this year, went to AAA, had some success, and he's not slowed down since. And he's actually the stopgap that we need. It's crazy to think that Andrew Abbott is the stopgap. He is the guy that we're running out there right now, game 1, if we were in the playoffs. No question about it. No question about it. You're running him out there, game 1 in a playoff situation, and I cannot believe that's where we're at. But that's what it takes for us to continue to do some things. Again, as a reminder, I want to thank all of you for watching this show. There are some super chats I want to get to really fast. Higgy Baby said, fireball shots. Well-deserved after a Reds win and 40 kids at your house. 40 might be exaggerating. I would put the real number at 15, which is still a lot. But I bring this down here because I know it's coming every single night. No free ads, but you know what it is. All right. Got that out of the way. All in Christ. I love when All in Christ comes in the chat. Was at church this morning. Big Jesus guy. Thank you all in Christ for the super chat. Where we go one, we go all. That's right. Make you some disciples. Get you some more Reds fans. In fact, that's what this show should be about. Let's try to get more Reds fans. You know, invite the person that used to think the Reds stink. And let's face it, they were right for most of the time. Just send a text to a buddy and say, hey, you want to go to a game? You want to go down to the ballpark? Because at this point, there's like 6 or 7 guys you could argue for the reason as to why you'd want to go down to the ballpark. Spencer Steer, dog. Matt McClain, dog. There's some other dogs out there, but I don't know if they deserve that dog yet, besides Andrew Abbott, dog. TJ Friedel, dog. We got some guys struggling right now. And I got to be honest, I know the India hate, the India frustration is building and building and building. Can I take an opposite approach? I know I'm the guy that usually gets frustrated by Jonathan India. I'm the guy that usually is the one that is on the bandwagon for the whole maybe trade situation and all that. I get that. I'm not downplaying that. But it's almost like we need to rally around this guy. Because, like it or not, he's on this team. He's probably going to be on this team without question until at least the deadline. And for this team to continue to have success, we at some point need Jonathan India. We need Jonathan India. So I don't want, not that he's getting boo birds or anything like that. I don't think he's getting boo birds yet. But I don't want it to turn into that is what I'm getting at. You know, it's almost like as much as we've said prayers for other guys, I think Jonathan India is the guy that needs it the most. Joey Votto's right behind him. I'm not downplaying that either, but he needs your support more now than ever. So I am going to get on the Jonathan India bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? Look at that right here. Can't say I don't love Jonathan India. I got a bobblehead sitting right in front of the computer every single night when I do this show. It's got hair. The hair looks great and the bobblehead and all. All right, I'm going to talk about one thing really quickly. Overachieving. And that's what many people think this team's doing, right? Is the overachieving. And they are overachieving, but the reason that they're overachieving, in my opinion, is not because of one specific reason, right? The bullpen's been good, yes. The offensive production at time this year has been really good. The starting pitching's been pretty tough to watch for quite some time. But it's almost like we have this unbelievable formula right now to where when the starting pitching steps up, it's the same day that the offense struggles. Or when the starting pitching struggles, it's the same day that the offense steps up. Or when the bullpen blows a save, the offense comes back the very next inning and picks them up. It's like it's almost like the cliche very essence of what a team's supposed to be and is. And I don't know how long this can continue. I don't know how long you could say that this should last. Is it slightly concerning that we have the holes that we have as a starting pitching staff? Yes, it is. But don't you feel comfortable when you walk in and whether you walk into the ballpark or you sit down at your couch to watch the game? Don't you feel a little bit of comfort in knowing that it can be like 6 or 7 different people on any given night that win us? I don't say win us the game, but are the reason that we win the game. Spencer Steer, Matt McClain's done it. TJ Friedel's been a part of that. Jonathan India certainly at times this year has been that guy. Jonathan India got hot to start this year, and he was a big reason as to why we had success. So even though he's struggling now, let's not forget about the beginning of the year. Jake Fraley's had some huge moments this year. Joey Votto, as much as he's struggling, and as much as I sounded the bell yesterday, and I know people think that I'm a hater and all that, I'm not. Actually, I've gotten almost into fist fights before telling people that Joey Votto is the best hitter of all time for the Cincinnati Reds. I have defended that man. I have done everything and humanly possible to scream and yell about the fact that, no, he is an incredible hitter. He's the best Reds hitter of all time. I know that sparks people's flames and it gets them up in the air and all that. I'm not here to argue that tonight, but I love Joey Votto. This isn't an anti-Joey Votto guy. I'm just trying to point out the obvious that right now he might be struggling. But outside of Joey right now and India right now at the plate, Will Benson stepped up since he's came back. And I've always, since the Brass Band Festival, as many of you know, have been a Stuart Fairchild guy. I'm not forgetting Stuart Fairchild's at bat that led to the opportunity of what the Reds were able to do. Again, hand in the air. I did not get to see the first few innings from Andrew Abbott. I presume he looked as good as he did in the later innings because he was absolutely dialed in. Andrew Abbott, I said it before, I'll say it again. Maybe I'm being a little overreaching. Like I said, Ellie De La Cruz, the best baseball player I've ever seen. I still stick by that a little bit, but I'm starting to maybe question whether or not that cycle, the drama of that night, might have clouded the vision a little bit. But you know what? I took a stance. I'm going to stick with it. Andrew Abbott's Tom Glavine-esque, man. He is. He is. Not saying he's going to have that kind of career, but that's who he reminds me of. Tom Glavine-esque. All right, let's get into the power spots. I want to talk about this for just a second. This isn't me trying to be too pessimistic, but we definitely need to utilize this DH spot better. And I don't know how long we give it before we start to try to make some executive decisions on it. I'm willing to ask the chat, how long do we give a guy? I'm going to put in the chat today. How long do we give Joey Votto / Tyler Stevenson to hit in the DH spot before we start to question whether or not there should be somebody else hitting at that? And CES has struggled lately, yes, I know. But the thing that's crazy to me is like CES has 80 grade power. CES has so much power that he's going to run into a home run. He might hit 220, but he's going to run into home runs at Great American Ballpark. Listen, I'd like to think Tyler Stevenson could be the DH. I just don't think that he is. He stepped up today, and I love that he stepped up, but I think he needs to catch. And you know what the beautiful thing is? He has been catching more lately. I think he caught the last 2 games. He got the day off today, obviously. Tyler Stevenson, if Tyler Stevenson can catch semi below average, then I think we're in a position where this team can be relatively elite. Hell, if he's average, then we're really cooking. But the DH spot has got to be slotted for somebody that has some pop, some power. Because that's what that spot's supposed to be. And we've not gotten production out of that spot. I don't know. I'm willing to give it, in my opinion, until the All-Star break, but I'll put it in a poll now. We'll see what we said. And I know Yash is in here saying it ain't about power. I don't know if you're talking what exactly you're talking about. DH is exactly for power. I mean, that's the way I look at it. And in fact, a right-handed power bat would be pretty nice too, considering that if they throw out a lefty at any point, Fraley's gone, Benson's gone, Votto is gone. Let's start a poll here. All right. How long until you consider a change at DH? Question mark. I'm going to put All-Star break now and we're fine. Maybe I'll add one more option, like a month. All right, let's see what we get on that. Chad, if you have any questions, by all means. When you're in here solo dolo like this, there's only so much a man can talk about before you're just spewing at the mouth, and I don't really want to do that. I want to keep it precise, have substance to this show. Again, to be fair to the audience and the public, there wasn't a whole lot that I was able to see in this game until the later innings. In regards to the whole David Bell thing, look, man, I mean, David Bell, he cannot win. Okay, he cannot win. I used to get on David Bell, many of you know, and I was mostly just making fun of his demeanor at postgame pressers because, you know, the team's won 10 straight and he's out here just, you know, like, well, we're going to get him tomorrow. David Bell could not have managed this. He cannot manage this team any better. He just can't, man. Like, if you aren't on the David Bell bandwagon right now, then you're never going to be. You're never going to be. This dude has a team that was supposed to win 65 games this year. And they're overachieving. They're overachieving by a significant margin. And yeah, you could argue, well, he could have left this guy in, taken this guy out on any given night, but there's also other factors that go into certain things that we probably aren't privy to. And if you're gonna put it this way, if you're gonna get on David Bell for taking out Abbott and putting Lucas Sims in, you got to give Lucas Sims a little bit of the blame for not getting the guy out, one. And two, you got to give David Bell credit for putting in Tyler Stevenson. Like, it can't always be the players are the only ones that can have success and achieve. And then when the players don't achieve or have success, you blame the manager. Now, I know I'm probably talking to a small percentage of people here, but I'm just like, you can admit when you might have said something that wasn't right. And that, like, right now, you can't say David Bell isn't doing an unbelievable job. Unbelievable job. If you're mad about Abbott, cool. But he saved it. He fixed it with Tyler Stevenson then. At least fixed it. You remember that ball that McLean bobbled at shortstop towards the end of the game? Looked like it might have been an error, but nope. He scooped it back up really quickly, made a good throw to first base, still got the guy out. Okay, we move on because he got the job done regardless. Same could be said about David Bell. I see the chat. It's hard for me to keep up with the chat tonight. I seen Larkin. I know Larkin has to be something of the consideration that of a broadcast booth, right? We certainly aren't putting the thought of putting Larkin in the dugout. And I don't know. Larkin may be incredible in the dugout. I don't know, but it's absolutely it's just being ridiculously stupid if we're being completely honest with ourselves about whether or not David Bell deserves to be the manager of this team. Like, that's just you can't even have a reasonable conversation if you actually think that's the case. I'm a little more concerned with Barry in the broadcast booth suggesting that it's irrelevant whether Mailey's running or Friedel's running. With one out, by the way. And it has nothing to do with the pass ball. It has everything to do with the fact that you just seen Mailey get thrown out on a routine ground ball to the shortstop. And oh, by the way, with one out, there could be a fly ball to the outfield, which a guy has to tag on, and speed kind of matters there too. I sometimes I wonder what's going on up there. But that's here nor there. That's here nor there. You know what it reminds me of a little bit with David Bell? It's Zach Taylor-esque. The guy has the same type of demeanor. Very low-key, not a screamer or a yeller. Can get upset at umpires. I'll give him credit for that. Boy, if he gets pissed off at an umpire, you will find out fast. But just like Zach Taylor, everybody wants to complain about something with him. And David Bell, keep doing your thing, brother. I'm along for the ride. You got me on the bandwagon. You got me on the bandwagon, man. So turn me into a believer. All right, let's talk about the Nationals. I think what Kirby said pretty much takes my point. We need to be careful with expectations with this team because I don't know if the starting pitching is always good to guarantee that we should go into a 4-game set and think we should win the series. Winning a 4-game series is damn difficult. Once again, we play 500 baseball. In my opinion, we are right there to play. I mean, we are. I think we make the postseason if we go 500 out. I think we do, and we need to keep that in mind while we watch these games. Keep riding or dying. Ronnie Smith has done something incredible today. I've seen Ronnie in this chat for weeks on end. And he has said McLean, and he's put McLaine. Ronnie, I love the fact that you made the adjustment, my man. For those that don't know how to spell McLean, it's McLain. That's a big deal when a guy's this good. That's a big deal, right? It'd be like misspelling Burrow's name or something. Now, that might be an extreme. But I think Matt McLain has deserved the right. His family has earned the right for us all to spell his name right. So, again, to be clear, McLain. I know many might think it's McCain. I don't know where that came from. I understand it's confusing because it sounds like McCain or McLean, and you think there's an E on the end. But again, last thing, McLain. L-A-I-N. Some say M-C-B-A-N-G. That's here nor there. I just want to say again, honestly, it's ridiculous that this many people come in here and they watch this show night in, night out. I'm doing my best here, solo dolo without Nick. I got like 13 screens going at once. But let's do 3 things to end this show. 1 is we got to dunk a basketball. 2 is we got to rally around Jonathan India. Do me a favor. If you have the Twitter Bird app and you don't have the rate limit exceeded, go find Jonathan India's handle and say something nice to him. Say something nice to him. We need to get some positive momentum behind Jonathan India. He's been a good player on this team. We need him now. I know it's easy to get frustrated, and I've been frustrated. But this game is you know what? It's hard. This game is really hard. It can beat you down mentally. You can start to get a little bit stressed when you feel like people are turning on you. And I'll put my hand up and saying I've not been the most optimistic person about Jonathan India because I think, in my opinion, he's playing out of position. I think he's hurting the team for not playing in the position we need him to play. And there's a whole list of laundry things as to why I'm not a huge fan of the situation they're in with him. However, I still can understand that he's important to this team, and we need him to play better. We need him to play better. And negativity and getting all upset at Jonathan India probably is not going to be the solution that's going to make him play better. I know it sounds dumb, but I do believe in positive energy. I think that if we can start to just rally behind him a little bit, maybe he'll be able to turn the corner and we can get going. Carlton asks, Trace, who would you put in that position? Would that be David Bell? Are you talking about Jonathan India? You have to clear that up, Carlton. I'm sorry that I don't know what that means. I'm assuming you're talking about India. If you're talking about India, then we can get into that, and we'll finish the show on that. But again, this baseball team isn't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. Our 2 through 6 hitters today were 0 for 14. Tyler Stevenson pinch hit 1 for 15. They won a baseball game today when their 2 through 6 hitters went 0 for 14 to start the game. And don't bring this horse manure about they haven't played anybody. Like, that is the most ridiculous argument I've ever heard. Hello? The entire Major League Baseball team has the exact same schedule. We all play everybody the same. This whole notion that, the Reds haven't played anybody. The Dodgers? Are they nobody? Are the Braves a nobody? I guess the Padres, you could make the argument that they are somewhat of a nobody. Are the Astros a nobody? Are the Yankees a nobody? If that's just, maybe, I'll tell you what that is. That's the coping mechanism that these other folks want to use when they're just jealous of the fact that the Reds are ahead of schedule and they're pissed off because their team, which is probably the St. Louis Cardinals or maybe the Cubs, are well below 500, and they're looking at their roster and they see they have a bunch of retreads. They got a bunch of guys that aren't any good anymore that they thought were good, that they paid a bunch of money to, and they look over at the Reds. They got Abbott, rookie. Steer, rookie. McLean, rookie. Benson, rookie. Friedel, plenty of team control. Hunter Green, plenty of team control. Just signed an extension. Abbott, did I mention he's a rookie? So to sit here and act like, this team's a fluke. Best of luck to you. Go ahead and bet on it. You know what? That's a good idea. Just bet on it every single night. Bet against the Reds to lose every single night. See how that goes for you. And I know I just missed a bunch of guys. I'm sure I missed somebody in that whole rant right there that I feel sorry for. If I didn't say Steer, then shame on me. But I'm pretty sure I did. The only last thing I want to bring up here really fast is the whole payroll thing. Can we all at least admit the payroll does matter a little bit? Like, it matters a little bit. Let's not fool ourselves into thinking that it's all about moves and roster management. That definitely matters, clearly. But you can fix a lot of problems with money. The teams that win the World Series more times than not, they have a pretty good payroll. Not always. I'm not saying it's every single time. Clearly not. But let's also not believe in that. Let's not fall into the trap of thinking that this is a fair game we're all playing. Payroll matters. That gives, as much as we want to crush ownership from time to time, I think ownership spent money. They just spent it in the wrong places. They've just spent it in the wrong places. And the other thing I'll say is, if you don't want to give this ownership group any credit at all, if you hate Phil and you hate Bob, I understand that. I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise. But again, you have to give them a little bit of credit for putting the guys in place that are having success, that are giving this Reds team the ability to win on a night in, night out basis. And on top of that, they've given them the autonomy to go do their jobs. I'm not suggesting that should earn all of your trust back. I'm not suggesting that should fix the problem of what Phil has said. I'm not arguing that. Phil's an idiot for some of the things he said. But the one thing that I do believe in with this ownership group, and I'll continue to say it, they're going to go and spend the money where Nick Krall believes it needs to be spent this offseason. And maybe there's really not a whole lot I think they can do at the deadline. Maybe they could go and get a couple, I say retreads, but they could go and get a couple Lance Lynn's of the world and just spend some money. But if we're going to be a fair show, as much as I was upset last year about ownership, I will give them their flowers in saying that I think they have some talented people that are at the top of the front office. And I think they've given them the ability to go out and try to do their job. Will they hamstring them at some point? Sure. Yeah, of course they will. You can't spend like the Mets and the Dodgers and the Angels and the Yankees, and can't do that. But we're in a good spot, folks. We're in a really good spot. Enjoy it while it lasts. There's no reason to get all upset about really any of the things that maybe people want to get upset about with this ownership group right now. Just live your life. Enjoy this team. Enjoy the team. And maybe you could argue they're winning in spite of the team, Major League style. I don't know. It's possible. But I got to do a dunk. We need that Nick Cage pillow back fast, though, don't we? I don't like when we're not in our own element. Today feels like I'm way out of my element. But there's a dunk to do. Chat results for those that are wondering. How long until you consider a change at the designated hitter? 43% say the All-Star break. 27% say now. 21% say we're fine. And 8% say in a month. I think I'm in the majority here. Man, part of me wants to say now so bad, but I'm willing to give it time. I'm willing to make sure that maybe what we think is possible still is actually still possible. But things look different, man. Things look different than they've ever looked before in my eyes. Maybe I'm seeing things, maybe I'm just assuming things, but I just see things that look different, and that's sad, and that sucks. But at some point, you got to figure out a way to make this team the best they possibly can when you put them out there on a nightly basis. And we're going to have to make some hard decisions. And by golly, I'm glad I'm not the one that has to make them. But I think I'm going to agree with the majority and say the All-Star break. Give me till the All-Star break. Let me see where we're at. And then at that point, we're going to have to make a decision on what we're going to do with some of these spots we're not getting production out of. Because you can't tell me that when you have Will Benson out there, you have Fraley out there. Stuart Fairchild, I don't think is going to go back down. Maybe he will, but I don't think Stuart Fairchild is going to go back down. I love Stuart Fairchild, man. He brings something to the table. I really do like Stuart Fairchild. I don't think he ever deserved to get sent down, and he did. Anon, coming in hot, said, Trace, can I get you to sing Team America, South Park, after each win? Maybe next show. You give me a little practice, maybe next show. All right. Well, the last final parting thoughts is this. Tomorrow is my son's birthday. So good for him. He's got a birthday. And I'll probably be busy doing some things. I'm going to try to make sure that we get back to our regular routine here with Chatterbox Reds. And on top of that, we also have America. I know not everyone is from the United States in this chat. But I do want to say, for as much as we celebrate as many things as we do in this country, I don't want it to go forgotten that there's a lot of men and women in this country that lay their lives down for us to enjoy the freedoms that we have. And at least from myself standpoint, I appreciate all of you that serve our country. I appreciate living in this country. I know many people want to downplay it and say that there's a lot of problems in our country and things of that nature. And by God, we probably do have problems. And by God, it's not been perfect. Our history is not perfect. It's not. But I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Not a single place on this planet Earth would I want to live besides the United States of America. And I'm proud to be American, and I love America. And go America. Enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend, whatever you'd like to call it. I know it's only a few hours long, but hopefully your employer gives you tomorrow off. If they don't get a new job, but think about it. Think about it. If they're not going to give you the 4th of July off, at least consider it. At least consider it. So God bless this country. God bless all of you. I love you. I'm going to go do a dunk, the best of my ability. This dunk is for George Washington. That's who this dunk is for. And Tyler Stevenson, because he doesn't deserve what I did the other day. Well, he did. That's Nick. Don't worry about Nick. All right, I'm back. And Tyler Stevenson. He might have deserved it, but I'm glad he proved me wrong. There's one thing that I figured out on this show. If you start talking hell about a guy, you say that he needs to pick it up. You say that he's not playing well. I know they don't listen to the show, but hell, seems like every single time you start saying something bad about somebody, by golly, they figure it out. So I'm not going to do it. But there's some guys I need to start talking some smack about. All right. Love you. I'm going to play the intro or outro. That's outro music when you're going away. Outro. And I'm going to dunk a basketball. Look at this place. It's a disaster. I'm going to get text messages. I'm going to get messages. I'm going to get DMs. Trace, clean your place up. This is supposed to be a professional show. I got like 30 kids in my house, bro. I'm trying to keep it together. Trying. But I want to remind you, God bless the United States of America. Go America. And just as importantly, almost, go Reds. Athlete.